Okay, so week one of Roland Garros in the books. We have our quarterfinals set. Week one gave us many surprises as well as a lot of the same. There's a lot to unpack, so let's just skip all the formalities and hop right into it. So up top, we got a quarterfinal of Novak Djokovic, world number one, against Matteo Berrettini. I think given the circumstances surrounding Federer coming into this tournament, a lot of us saw this quarterfinal coming between Djokovic and Berrettini. Up until today with Novak, neither guy was really tested all that much heading into this quarterfinal. Obviously, Djokovic went down 2 sets today to Lorenzo Musetti. But you always get that feeling with Novak that the guy can make up any deficit no matter how huge it is. And today was no different, although he was assisted by Musetti kind of just running out of gas. He played his first 5-setter of his career against Cecchinato 2 days ago, so really if there's anything that he needs to work on most right now, I would say would be to get stronger and improve conditioning, because this isn't the first time I've seen Lorenzo in his very young career so far wilt as a match has gone on. However, it's tough to have a takeaway as far as he goes for his Grand Slam debut here. It was really nothing but a success. He really ended up exceeding my expectations. I thought that this was going to be a straightforward, straight set win for Novak, but he really showed me a lot of variety and touch that I don't think really any of the other players in his age group have shown to the extent that he has, and you can only go up from here. I will say that I did feel that he kind of gave up once the tide had swung. He didn't really try to reset, which was kind of disappointing, but it's hard coming away from this match with really anything but encouraging signs from Musetti's part. As far as Novak is concerned, he really continued his hot form from late clay season into the opening rounds here at Roland Garros. I did feel that he needed a test like today to really gauge if he was truly looking as unstoppable as his first 3 rounds appeared, because I really didn't think he was playing anybody with any capability to throw him off in those first couple rounds. They kind of just played straight into his hands, and he, to his credit, absolutely annihilated every single one of them with Sandgren, Cuevas, and then Berankis. Musetti, however, presented a massive step up as far as the challenge. Novak was off in the first 2 sets. I will say that he didn't look to be at his best. He played a real stinker of a second set tiebreak, which you rarely ever see out of him. Just very bizarre. He had a ball that he left that was really close to him in proximity on a just defensive lob that he let go, and it was total misjudgment. And then he just finished with a flurry of unforced errors in that tiebreak. But to me, it needed to be more physical than it was in the 3rd or 4th set for Musetti to really have a chance. And it was clear that he was hurting by probably late 4th set, early 5th set. It was almost comical how quickly that match turned around. It took all of 2 hours for 2 hours plus for Musetti to get that 2-set-to-love lead, and the remainder of the match took less than an hour for Djokovic to basically win 3 straight sets. And from the get-go in the third set, the difference in intensity was very noticeable for Djokovic. He wasn't leaking those errors anymore, and he just wore Lorenzo down. And now he finds himself in the quarters for what I believe is now a 12th straight year, I want to say. His opponent, Matteo Berrettini, has had the best clay season of his career so far. Another Italian who benefited from the withdrawal of Roger Federer. Now, obviously, if you watch my draw prediction video, I thought that he would have beaten Federer to make this quarter. But besides that, he has only dropped 1 set to this point, but he hasn't really been tested much at all. So you can look at that withdrawal in one of 2 ways, of whether he's fresh and fitness shouldn't be a problem if this match in the quarters against Djokovic gets drawn out. But at the same time, he also could possibly come out a bit slow, and in matches like this, you can't afford to do that against the likes of a Djokovic. Personally, though, I think I'd value the extra rest more. I don't think that fitness will be a problem for Berrettini as it was for the young Lorenzo Musetti today. But that being said, you know what you're going to get with Berrettini. It's big serve, big forehand. He's going to look to finish points quickly and try hitting as few shots as he can on the backhand, which is a massive drop-off from his forehand. I could be wrong, but I think worst case scenario, Djokovic will win this in 4. But I think that it's going to be a tight straights type of match. With how good Djokovic returns, I don't think that the serve is going to be as big a factor for Berrettini as it has been through this tournament. And as a result, with Djokovic getting so many balls back, I think he's just going to find the Berrettini backhand all too easily, and I feel like he's gonna get this done in straights, something along the lines of like a 6-4, 7-6, 6-4. And now we move on to the second quarterfinal in the top half. Much to my displeasure, we have Rafa Nadal and Diego Schwartzman. Now let me preface what I'm about to say by saying I cannot stand the Nadal-Schwartzman matchup. It is the most irritating matchup for me. I feel like I'm watching Nadal on bot time. I feel like he's on a clock as far as his stamina. Diego just always seems to peak against him, and almost every time they've played in a major, Diego has just chipped into Nadal's energy reserves. It's just so infuriating. I feel like Diego just makes Nadal work so hard, and it's for no reason. I don't care how this is gonna sound, but he has like a minimal chance at actually beating him every time, and I know that's admirable for a guy of his stature to just be so gritty and fight the way he does, but boy, is it infuriating when he's got Nadal on the other side of the net. It's like a pest, and I think that's a compliment because it's a testament to Diego's mental strength and just determination that he pretty much competes himself into giving Nadal a good fight almost every time they play. The guy just does not go away. I'm not even kidding when I say that I am dreading this match more than the Djokovic semi. And I know that Novak actually has a chance to win that. And Diego, with all due respect, does not have a chance at taking down Nadal on Chatrier. It's just that infuriating of a matchup to watch for me. And when Nadal's draw came out and everybody was panicking about how he'd been handed such a tough draw, I seriously said I will take all the projected opponents showing up as they should in his draw, like Sonego in the 3rd round, Sinner in the 4th round, Djokovic in the semis. That's all fine. I would have much preferred Rublev and Karatsev, even though their big hitting gives them a slightly better chance than Diego to actually pull this upset. Both of them are minimal, to be honest, but slightly better. And I would have taken my chances with those big hitters more, because I just hate watching these two play each other. And I thought surely this year with Karatsev and Rublev both there, there's no way Diego is going to make it, especially after his 2-4 clay season. He was terrible this clay season for his standards, but still he finds his way to the quarter when he's got Nadal in his section without dropping a set. Of course he does, because the guy just always seems to peak when he's got Rafa ahead of him. It's just unbelievable, man. Like, that was not contrived at all. That was serious frustration. I am so irritated that this match actually ended up happening this year. I thought there was no way. It's just so frustrating now with an older Nadal that I have to worry about him getting tired. Diego is lucky that he only played Rafa once when he was in his prime in 2013. This would seriously be nothing more than an even more one-sided version of Nadal's matchup against Ferrer if Diego was playing him in his prime. I seriously think so, because energy, stamina was not a concern for prime Nadal, but it is what it is. He does actually get tired now. It's a shame, but it is the reality for the now newly minted 35-year-old. So now that this match is happening, I have to talk about it. I seriously think that this is going to be a straight set affair. I know that might be hard to believe after all the rambling I just did, but if there's one thing I hope as a Nadal fan, it's that this isn't the night match. I just really hope that they do not put this as the night session match on Chatrier, because playing Diego in humid, cooler conditions just would not be ideal for Rafa at all. You saw it with Federer against Kepfer. He struggled to hit through, especially on his serve and backhand, and if that match were to happen at night, it would just make things that much more of a grind for Rafa. I still feel that he'd find his way to an ugly straight set win, like his US Open win over Diego in 2019. But I just don't want to be put through that. I hope it's a day session match, because I actually went back once it was confirmed that this match was going to happen. I went back and checked all their clay meetings, and honestly, aside from those last two sets of their 2018 quarterfinal, Nadal's never gotten Schwartzman on clay in his ideal conditions where it's hot and dry and the ball is flying. Last year it was cold because it was fall. 2018, the first half of that match was on a humid and rainy day, and I certainly think that contributed to Diego jumping out to the lead he did. I remember they played at night in Monte Carlo in 2017. I remember that they played in Madrid, which is Rafa's least successful Masters event on clay. well, clay event in general. But if they end up being the day match, I do like Nadal's chances. I think that will make things a whole lot easier to hit through Diego. I honestly think that he might not have to work as hard as usual in this matchup if he gets the day match on a sunny day. Rafa has been kind of sloppy, surprisingly so, through his opening 4 matches. He has had patches of absolute brilliance, like today for most of the last 2 sets against Sinner and the first set against Gasquet in the second round. But on the other hand, he's also had patches of being kind of mediocre, and he still hasn't gotten his serve in order. Had 7 double faults today, was broken 4 times today. I believe twice against Nori, once against Gasquet, and once against Popperin. So he does have to clean that up. But off the ground, he's been pretty solid. And all I'm saying is Wednesday wouldn't be the worst day to finally put it together and sustain peak level for a whole match. Either way, though, I think that Nadal will get through this in straights. It's just a matter of how grindy it'll be, but I do think that conditions are going to have the biggest effect on the extent of how physical it ends up being. Now on to the bottom half. This half did not unfold at all how I predicted, really. I mean, I got Zverev and Tsitsipas right, but Thiem really shocked me with his subpar play in that first round. He has a lot of soul searching to do. I'm probably gonna do a video on him by itself, but I'd given him the benefit of the doubt at Roland Garros considering his history here. He hadn't had a dud like this ever since really breaking through in 2016, so that ended up shaking up my predicted bracket almost immediately. And I never could have seen Davidovich-Fokina ending up beating Casper Ruud, given Ruud's fantastic consistency throughout this clay court season, but good on him, congratulations. I'm not going to waste that much time on Zverev and Davidovich-Fokina. I think that'll be a quite straightforward affair. I'll say Zverev in 3. It could go 4. He could sneak a set in there just because Sasha can have these mental lapses where he'll just play well below his best against guys that he's considerably better than, and I think that this is one of those cases. That's the only way I could really see this match being competitive, and yeah, Zverev has done that plenty of times before, but ever since his first round, he's looked quite impressive. He just destroyed Nishikori in his 4th round, and stuff really cleared up for him after Thiem lost and Ruud lost. He really had a nice path to the semifinals, as I predicted, and I haven't moved off that. I think Zverev will be making his first semi at Roland Garros, and I like him over Davidovich-Fokina in a pretty convincing straight sets. That, of course, brings us to the last and much anticipated 8th installment of the heated rivalry between Stefanos Tsitsipas and Daniil Medvedev. I think that a lot of us are surprised to see Medvedev here, given his just horrible clay court season. There's no other way to say it. He just was not very good at all, and his body language, his demeanor was very discouraging for his prospects here at Roland Garros. It just seemed like he was in his own head and really was just inadvertently sabotaging himself as far as even giving himself a chance to succeed on this surface. I was pretty torn on whether I would send him to the quarters in my bracket. I had him losing to Christian Garin. I literally flipped a coin on that one, and obviously that turned out to be wrong. But I thought it would be his draw aiding him. I thought it would be an ugly run there, but he has been excellent on his way to this quarterfinal. He's only dropped one set, and he's been quite dominant against everybody he's played, Garin included, in the 4th round. He's really just taken a better attitude in his approach to clay this week, and in the process, he's really improved his chances on getting to number 1 somehow very soon. But most importantly, in the present, I didn't think I'd ever be in a place where I'd say that I think that this match with Tsitsipas, who I've expressed how high I am on his upside on clay, but I actually think that Medvedev could make this a really competitive match, and I think that he actually has a chance. Their head-to-head has always been in his favor. It stands at 6-1 at the moment, and their one meeting on clay went to Medvedev at Monte Carlo in 2019. Now, I think that both guys have improved since then. I don't think we can really go off much from that match. Tsitsipas has obviously kept up his very steady and really clean play that he's displayed throughout this clay season in 2021. Only dropped one set to Isner. I do think that this match being played at night does favor Tsitsipas, and that's just another botched scheduling choice on behalf of Roland Garros this year. There has been plenty of those at this year's tournament, and I just don't understand why you would put this match on the no fans session. But with that being the case, I do think that hurts Medvedev. He doesn't really have that weapon that can just take control of baseline rallies, and even in just being that Daniil Medvedev machine that can't miss, I feel the effectiveness will be nullified to some degree with his ground strokes not being as penetrating in likely cooler and more humid conditions at night, while also helping Tsitsipas in the weakest part of his game on return. I do think that this is going to be the most competitive of these quarterfinals. I am very excited to see what goes down under the lights, but as far as a prediction, I will go Tsitsipas in a very tight 4-setter. So those are my quarterfinal predictions. I think we're going to end up getting that dream semifinal between Nadal and Djokovic, and also Tsitsipas and Zverev in the bottom half. A lot of fun matches went down in week 1. I won't completely overlook those. I hope to make a couple videos on a select few topics that were trending the most in week 1. And obviously a lot to look forward to as we near the latter stages of Roland Garros. I also hope to keep you updated with that, but for now, that will do it for me. Feel free to leave any comments about what you think will go down in these next couple days. As always, please like, comment, and sub. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.